And we're just going to start by settling into the breath. Can everybody hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Brilliant. Lovely. Okay. Settling into the breath and just feeling waves of gold washing over the body, head to tail, through the feet, lifting to release up and out grey tone as it dissolves upon impact. Heaviness lifting out of the body as we neutralize and come to the still point. Aquamarine to teal blue build through the backside of the body. Connection in and through to the spine, building light sequence, radial light sequence through the spinal cord. Working with the breath, allowing transfers to take place as light restores stiffness. And looking into the discs of the spine. Expansion of pale gold to white hues through the sponginess of the discs, lifting out crunching and hardness, softening through the neck, expanding the tissues. As we raise up protections through the body, through the bioenergetic fields, and taking them through each individual dimensional field, layer by layer. Kieras matopuriadora asia akiarash masnayan. Nagieras na atia poroshnosiya mo otopohia gora osio gora na yema ai hiatoras na osia poran. As we restore the sponginess and the softness to the discs of the spine, we begin to feel tension rising through the solar plexus. And anxiety, fear, consistency emerging, and tension through the temples and the crown of the head. Bring this forward to identify. To move through and become aware. White, light, pink speckles graces down the spinal column, building through the vertical pillar, opening up layers as we access to the information, decompress memory. Opening the history. Moving to surrender. And the revelation of conflict being shown through the screens. And it's almost coming forwards as like a kind of prisoner slash slavery kind of memory sequence coming up. Again, tied into multiple timelines, one of which being Etruscan, South African, hip joins expand as we begin to lift and release the fear, sadness, grief of entrapment. Na yokoras ma atiatros no sion como otepohia dora ana hiana et viris nishiatra otiamo onya a hiakora. Sending in unconditional love. Separation of the memory sequences, drawing back each individual energy participant within the timelines and referring into the templating, confinement templating and enslavement templating. And I feel what we can do is just start to unravel this templating that's bound through the body, and in particular through the divine feminine body here. Dethreading and unweaving the geometric metal lattice of enslavement. And with each unravel, we begin to draw back the strength, the power from these timelines. And what I'm also seeing as well is that this is going up through the vertical pillar upstream into galactic history also of enslavement and trafficking, intergalactic trafficking. And we can see on the downstream, just start to relate any layers of entrapment through the ancestral lineage and the ancestral experience through childhood growing up. We begin to de-thread and weave, sending in gold and pale gold and white into the threads to deconstruct. Breathing deep as we begin to neutralize, separate, and claim back, calling back the essence whilst observing the blueprint, dissolving any seal systems held within the blueprint. I'm actually getting quite discomfort within the liver here as well, the right side abdomen, as we unlock. Blueprint observation, pouring in white crystal diamond light tones to blend through the binding of the expression. Unlocking to release. Opening cellular memory, releasing grief modulation, accessing Akashic records, as storylines come forwards. Connecting to Akashic fields and morphogenetic race fields. Ayukora Asiama Atapunyamura. awareness of flight, energetic, unraveling through the body, and hypervigilance, surrendering to release from the tissues, from the muscle memory, from the fascia, connection through the lotus, intercepts, purification of the chakra system, collective memory clearing, simple triad sweep, head to tail, unlocking gate sequence 67892, expansion as we unlock contract fields, dissolving, releasing, revoking, rescinding oath ties agreements tied to enslavement and the experience of enslavement to find sovereignty, to find empowerment. Transfers moving. Binary fields recoding. Frequency fencing disabled. Memories accessed. Vault systems unlocked. Connecting to the perceptions. Disabling filters, overlays, distortions to the perception and to the mind. Cleaning and washing with water, plasma, rays. Photonic light sequence emerges, blends through the vertical axes, realignment of soul aspects, multidimensional alignment, flash with encryption, emerge and align, fear release. Otiaturas matapuriatora asiakrashmai, mahirisnes niateres niakora atiapura. Awareness brought to the pelvis, restrictions of emotional frequency bands, raising up awareness, lifting to release out metal containment, deep shadow cleanse, ayokora asama atia nana ayokora asopora, unlocking emotional limitations, heavy heart, deep depression, sexual misery traumas releasing, unlocking heightened bliss tone sequences, moving through as source angelic beings harmonize tones and frequencies to realign sexual energies of creation potentiality o chiarosmo taporiadora, abdomen release, sexual organ release, thighs and calves release, fear release. Sunlight emanations blend through the abdomen and sexual organs, pale pink tones of the cherry blossom, rose of compassion, extend and amplify through the lower quadrant of the body. Vulnerabilities present with resistance moving through the body. Nayukura asamata puria dona ahia. Temple discomfort emerges as we become aware of blocks through the third eye to the crown around the head. Christ candle light expands through the mind and head, illuminating channels, expanding the flame, disintegrating grey, heavy backlog, raising white diamond light, expand through the channels. Moving through the heart, rays of grief, paralyzed sphere of white light enters into the heart and ripples 360 degrees. Purification, memory reconnaissance, Yagura Asiyama Kuboria Atuyene, Neskidesne Siyama Ataponiano Oria. Unlocking heart fields, decompressing overlays, and removing metallic sheath. Releasing, revoking, rescinding any contracts, covenants, blocking this information from coming forwards in clarity and in truth because it's too painful or too shameful. Both victim and perpetrator running the same game. As we neutralize into objectivity, we begin to see the storylines emerging. Releasing, removing guilt, shame and pain, self-blame, dancing through the white flame of purity, rising through the pillar, and connecting to the monadic family tree, breaking down the infrastructure of the monadic family tree of games in which we played within the past as past manifestation to align into the present, pulling back the energy, releasing, revoking, rescinding oaths, vows, agreements to uphold these structures, be it perpetrator, be it victim, be it taking on pain of others with the collective fields, and also giving power into those creations that no longer serve the purpose, dissolve, disintegrate, collapse, release, breathe in, root system disintegrates, matrix web neutralizes and departicularizes, fear release, reconstruction of the blueprint, claiming back your energy, claiming back your soul essence, playing within these fields, no longer needing to energize and power up. Accessing the race memory, the Akashic records, dissolving contracts and history, spinal alignment, heart and thymus correction, purification, expansion, opening, 360 degrees, cellular upgrades, Yukora Atayama Atapuria Dorasna Aki, and updating to the almost space light alchemy, correction to the zodiac fetal imprints, Yukora Ataramna Ahia Porish Mosmi Yukora, dissolve, rebuke entity fields, Ayukora Asama Atapuria Dorasna Akiyama, Meskereshnesnea Dorasna Akiapura Ma Atapuria Dorasna Asi, washing golden flames over the tree of life, disabling and reanimating tree of anti-life, reversal to correct to organic universal tree of life structure, purification of subatomic ranges, breathing in, unhooking dead light miasma consciousness or anti-consciousness from the tree of life, subsections, the 12 Sephirot, interlinking through 12th, first to 12th dimensional sphere. Crystal iridescent rays blitz through, empower, resequence, repattern the bloodstream, the bloodlines, the ancestors, and the cellular capacity, yama otoporia soma akia, cellular detox, iwano oyokoporashni yasa amaye, opening underneath the feet, Earth Star Chakra, expansion, lift to release, release out, dead tones to the core of the earth, reharmonize, re-energize, revive, resurrection of light, resurrection of self, update to the vertical axis, connection to the grand central sun, reanimate, recuperate, rebuild, reintegrate soul essence, breathing in, releasing fear, modulation synthesis, harmonization of tone sequences, raising the harmonies, dissolving syncopation, building light tone essence through the universal structure. Yokura atayama ataporia soma okupori, sootaya tarasna akirama ataya. Surrendering. Dropping into the heart, moving emotional feedback out through the system, plays to a containment field, divine neutrality, rewriting bioenergetic feedback, updating processing and operating systems, purifying endocrine systems, rewiring circuitry of the brain, Akieras matoporiadora asea maakanai, nakieras ma eotora asea atoras no otoponia mush. Musmeokura asea tara osea mama ahia toras na akieras ma ataya. Simple triad sweep. Top to bottom, removing karmic distortion, debris, confusion, distortion, imprints. We access to the blueprint here, raising the pearlescent light. Crystal iridescent tones blend through the core foundations. Expand through the 360. Criaturas na quieras na criatura. Unlocking the mind. Autoras na quieras mas maya. Illumination of the architecture of the field foundations, lifting out heavy grey tone from the base of the horizontal perspectives of the blueprint. Reordering the fields. By elimination. Release of control. Release of grief. Release of trepidation. Moving to seal as the architecture illuminates in pale blue crystal light. Geometric spectrums open, reset, remodel as the blueprint evolves. Accepting in higher light, sequencing to build through the architecture. Architecture develops, expands, and extends. Divine light evolution. Nakieras multiporiatura asia kuras mati. Higher harmonic tones blend to build and update the blueprint. Awakening higher world connections. Anchor to the blueprint. Merging the higher harmonics to the lower as the matrix field updates, corrects. Moving to seal as we update, sending in, calling back the essence and updating the essence to restore protection fields. Repairing channels. Expansion through the 360. Update through all fields, update through all localized grids, and seal forward now through all levels, all layers of light. Seal forward through all bodies, and seal forward through the breath of the divine I am. Thank you.